It's getting to the point where if you end up seeing a dated, barely working, unfinished looking piece of putrid crap on the Steam storefront, there's a better than decent chance that Strategy First will be attached as publisher. Let's look at some of the classics it's farted out into the gaming public in just the past few months. We have the legendarily awful Alpha Xylon, a broken game that's so imbalanced I'm convinced you literally cannot beat the second level, a game that raised eyebrows due to appearing, well, if not racist, Going to kick off today with a plug for two things I've become a fan of on Twitter. There are two Twitter accounts you should follow if you've been playing Destiny, whether you like the game or dislike the game. Those accounts are The Cryptarch, Cryptarch, all one word, and Legendary Engram, legendary, like the word in Engram, E-N-G-R-A-M, Legendary Engram. Those two accounts, fucking hilarious as far as I'm concerned. Check them out if you're a Destiny player. I think you'll have a laugh. That's my good turn for the day. That's me done some good for some people. Now on to something a bit more dismal. I've covered a few instances of Steam becoming a dumping ground for broken, shitty and otherwise intellectually offensive games in the past. Titles like Air Control and Earth Year 2066 have spilled onto the storefront like so much refuse from a burst sewage pipe, but there's one particular publisher that is itself a massive fucking cesspool of bubbling liquid shit, and long-time Steam users have started to recognise its name popping up more and more and more. I'm talking about what may well be the king of the horrible Steam game publishers, Strategy First. It's getting to the point where if you end up seeing a dated, barely working, unfinished looking piece of putrid crap on the Steam storefront, there's a better than decent chance that Strategy First will be attached as publisher. Let's look at some of the classics it's farted out into the gaming public in just the past few months. We have the legendarily awful Alpha Xylon, a broken game that's so imbalanced I'm convinced you literally cannot beat the second level, a game that raised eyebrows due to appearing, well, if not racist, then at least fucking fucked up. Strategy First was also responsible for Shannon Tweed's Attack of the Groupies, a terrible Plants vs Zombies ripoff with fuck-awful production values and worse attempts at humour. The infamous Deep Black, one of its higher profile titles that nevertheless got shat on by critics because it was fuck-headed. And yes, Total Biscuit's notorious enemy Bad Rats is also a Strategy First title. Some of these games are allegedly only a few years old and yet look like shite from the 1990s, like Desert Gunner, another borderline unplayable game with fit-inducing graphical flashes, or the very recently released Demonlisher, a depressing attempt to be Pac-Man so incompetent they can't even get a decent portmanteau for the fucking title. It's actually quite shocking that of all the recent spate of god-awful trash hitting Steam, so much of it is vomiting from a single putrid, festering, cracked, red raw anus. It has 104 games on Steam currently, ranging from boring to some of the very worst imaginable, and an amazing amount of them are shitty hidden object adventure games, many of which get tossed up wholesale, just shifted onto Steam in bulk like so many boxes of economy toilet paper. Going back years, we find some decently received titles under the Strategy First banner with Flat Out and Sacred Gold, but these days, fucking forget it. In fact, here's a game it released just yesterday at the time of writing, War Operations. I'm going to play it right now for Jimquisition and see what it's like, and I'm willing to bet cash that it's fucking dreadful. 5 whole English pounds. Okay, so War Operations, here we are. I am using the original sound, and by that I mean there's no sound. Interesting, the Steam store page calls this a fast-paced FPS. Doesn't look like much of an FPS. Okay. And that's War Operations for you anyway. That's that. So I'll get back to the show. I'll take my £5 now. As with previous episodes on shitty Steam games, this is more a case of simple consumer awareness than making any overarching point. People are starting to wise up to Strategy First and keeping an eye out for its name attached to any project. Since it's an official publisher, there's no greenlight process for this company. They get to put whatever the fuck they like on the store and do so with such frequency that they contribute to the saturation of the market and the further obscurity of other, better games. While not responsible for all of the worst titles, its contribution to the industry is a remarkable volume of pure rubbish. Terrible audio-visual production, bugs and glitches, zero gameplay balance, archaic mechanics, all of these are the hallmarks of the average Strat First game. And they put new games up every few fucking days too. 2 games released September 18th, 3 games released September 16th, 1 on the 12th, 3 separate Ford Street fucking racing games on the 9th. Just drivel after drivel after drivel. Companies like Strategy First are less video game publishers and more vectors of poison, pumping the market full of noxious slop. And like all the best poisons, it comes off as harmless at first, but long term, filling a store up with shit like Bad Rats and Alpha Xylon is just harmful. Strategy First, more like, twatagy worst. Yeah. Lo, even though some of you may think me a villain, even though some of you think I may not be looking out for you, I still look over all of you, each and every one of you, my children, loving you unconditionally. Because that's what a real hero does. A real hero. Me, hero. A tragic hero. Thank God for me.